Hey everybody, I'm Nick Forrest from Snapboard, and this is our new partner this week, Tim Hindes, and he is from Trailblaze Creative. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started the company about a couple months ago. Actually, it's coming on a year. So it was about November, December last year. And
Seriously?
really, yeah. Focus on marketing communications. Try to hit long-term engagements with clients so that we can really have an impact over time. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun year, so I'm excited about that. I'm an avid outdoorsman, which you'll hear
The name,
in my
maybe the name, yeah.
Trailblaze Creative.
Yeah.
So and my beer too. So I'm all about outdoors and trying to battle wanderlust all the time. So
All right,
it's fun.
cool,
Yeah.
awesome. So what is your beer? I didn't even look at it.
So this is a Long Trail Summer Ale, and it's refreshing on a 90-degree day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just happy to be in air conditioning, to be honest. But air conditioning and beer, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for promising that. But yeah, it's a Vermont-based brewery, and one of my favorites.
What type of beer is it?
It's just an ale,
Summer
unfiltered
ale.
session ale, crafted for the longest days of the year.
Nice.
So yeah, very good.
I'll give one a shot when I'm done with mine.
Absolutely.
So this is one of my go-to summer drinks,
It's a
right?
good one.
Wine and Kugel Summer Shandy. This is the last one we have left in our fridge, so I figured I would. Yeah, I know, right? They're, it's a nice light summer, really hot outside type of beer. So
Well, cheers.
this will be my last one for the year. Well, good, welcome, and I can't wait to try one when I'm done with mine.
Thanks. Yeah, absolutely.
So first, the firthis is my mini rant right now, because we always try to, with our marketing, we always try to balance being obnoxious and still getting in front of somebody, right? And I think right now some websites are absolutely failing, and in particular, Mashable, International Business Times. I think you said Elite Daily also. They have these ads that as soon as you go to the website, they are collapsed and then they drop down and take up 2/3 of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll over it too if you're feeling that. If you're like moving your mouse around, it drops down.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to load. So if you click on the page, you can make a click like you're taking to another link, and it actually takes you to the ad.
Yeah.
If you don't get your mouse off of it, it doesn't go right into it. It's not like, oh, crash on you guys, but.
Well, yeah, and even worse is when you're on your iPad and you don't even know what's going on because it takes so long for that ad to load that you're at the mid part of the page or towards the bottom of the page, and all of a sudden all the words are like just completely gone. Like all the ones you were reading are gone, and you're on something. And then you start scrolling, and then it goes away again. You've never seen the ad, and you can't read what you want to read, so they're frustrating the hell out of the reader. That can't be what you want if you want people to read your website.
No, it's not a good experience at all. But what do you think drives that? Do you think it's the lack of ad revenue versus the?
I honestly, I think somebody came into the office and said, "You guys have to check out this cool new thing we can do."
Okay.
And we're gonna put this on every website or every web page. And it's honestly every article you go to, it continues to do it. It's not like they show you one and that's it.
It reminds me of the self-starting videos. As soon as you go to a page and it just starts playing.
And then even if you're gone from the page, you still hear something and you can't figure out where it's coming from.
I have that happen to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is doing that too because I have LinkedIn pulled up a number of other social media channels, and it's pulled up in my tabs in Chrome, and all of a sudden I'll realize that there's this music playing. I'll be sitting in a coffee shop and something will start going off. And I have no idea where it's coming from, and it's been LinkedIn every single time. The little speaker pops up every single time. It's it's annoying, but yeah, it's getting bad.
Well, it's like the like if you go to WTAE there to watch a video on their website, that 30-second commercial they have. So every time you want to watch a video, whether you watch one or two or three at a time, you have to sit through a 30-second commercial. Mm-hmm. It makes me click off and not go back. Yep. Because I avoid the commercial. I want to avoid the commercial more than I want to see the video. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that you wanted to talk about, I think which is completely relevant, and as far as how out of touch and how, like they're saying NBC is ruining this, but also the IOC. So they're not allowing people to. So right now, GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to call it, are huge on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. Twitter has them natively, and people are posting them everywhere. If you post one, they can hit you with a cease and desist. Yep. They can sue companies for posting.
Yep. And they've said that there's so many things that, you know, it's hard to regulate, first of all, and you would want to have, you know, that brand awareness and engagement with your brand across channels. Right. And that's a way to get folks involved in watching the Olympics more so than they are. So yeah, the IOC said that NBC is the only one in America that can broadcast the game. So you can't have GIFs, you can't have video, short video, you can't have any long video for sure. You can't have any of that. So you really have to watch. And
you can't even hashtag Olympics as a company if you're not a sponsor.
I read that. I thought you were talking about in general. I was like,
yeah.
As it relates to the Olympics.
But
they said if you don't have a contract, like Coca-Cola can do that. You have to have a contract to be a part of the Olympics.
Right.
If you are not, you can't even say goals. You can't even say hashtag goals. You can't say anything winning.
It's like Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't say anything.
I'm probably going to get sued now.
No,
because I just said Super Bowl.
I feel like the Super Bowl, there's better regulations about it. I feel like you can say, how are you going to do a Super Bowl party?
You can't say that in commercials.
No, not commercials. I'm saying on Twitter.
Oh yeah. On Twitter you can, yeah.
Well, so say anything
but one of my favorite commercials of all time has to do with not being able to say the Super Bowl. Anna Kendrick, and it's a Newcastle Brown Ale commercial, and she's like, I can't even say Super Bowl or big game or.
You know what? I feel like I have seen it, but I don't remember.
So funny.
It. Really?
I mean, I love her, but you know, it's a great commercial too. It really
so Anna, if you're watching this.
Yeah. Right. Change us to a Newcastle.
So the other part of this was this woman, Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones from SNL.
Yeah.
And she was in the latest Ghostbusters movie, and her engagement. I mean, she's a celebrity already, but she kind of reminded me during the hockey playoffs. There was a gentleman who experienced the hockey playoffs for the first time, and he just happened to be going on, through the channels, and he found hockey, and he started watching it, and he realized how incredibly intense these games were.
Yeah.
I think he was in St. Louis, and he was watching a St. Louis game, so he started tweeting about it, and then, people were just fascinated by his enthusiasm, so they invited him to the game, and he kind of became a little internet celebrity. He got thousands of followers, tens of thousands of followers overnight.
I don't know how I missed that.
That was awesome. Yeah, but Leslie Jones, I mean, she's got a following already, and she's a celebrity. But now she's been, because of her enthusiasm for the Olympics.
And I don't remember the line she had when she was yelling at the swimmers, but it was.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to say it.
No, I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, she's pretty vulgar, and it's her personality, and it just comes through with that video. So I mean, it's kind of fun to see her now be invited over there to engage with that on a regular basis, because I think that's kind of fun. That's at least NBC showing their understanding of how engagement works online, and how that is, she's got an audience now and it has a following as a result of this. So let's bring her on board and capture that. Right. So,
Yeah, I think that's maybe them trying to make up for what they've been screwing up.
Yeah. But it's funny because she's been posting videos of her TV, of the Olympic broadcast, which is not really allowed. So now we'll see if the IOC, now that she's on NBC's staff, for the Olympics, maybe she's allowed to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe it's grandfather her in,
right. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, that's funny.
So, and as far as being in touch with social media and digital marketing in general, I know we've talked about the Meatball Sunday. Have you ever read the Meatball Sunday book?
No.
Seth Godin's book, Meatball Sunday?
No, I haven't read that one.
It's about companies that try to slap on digital marketing on top of their meatball marketing already that they have. So you have this disgusting amalgamation of the two things.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about yourself and the way you work and how that relates to out of touch practices for companies with social media?
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced that quite a bit, with how people are out of touch, and like I said, my engagements are meant to be long term, because I want to impact the image and competitiveness of that image over time. So I think that, one of the things that I'm doing, you have this on-demand model that a lot of organizations are going to, like Uber and Lyft and even some other technology-based firms. But really the idea is to sort of plug and play marketing in there. You can really have a lot of my clients are nonprofits. They're government entities, and they really have a need for marketing, but they don't necessarily have the budget for a high-level marketer. So it's sort of sharing that burden over multiple organizations. So it's that on-demand model or shared services model where you're able to still have that capacity, but not necessarily all the time. And I think you see that with a lot of professional services. I mean, the whole idea about Snap Forward is, right. You can snap into, an IT plan. Right. And a marketing plan even too. So
and that's how we originally talked. 6 or 9 months ago, right? Yeah. Because we were at a happy hour, ironically, and you were basically describing, as what you do with marketing, how we work with IT, describing it differently. We weren't talking about it shared services. We were calling it outsourced IT management, but in reality, you're sharing, as when a company hires us, you're sharing the resources, so that you don't have the heavy investment of hiring one person full time. I guess it's like that when you have anybody outsourced. I guess it's the concept that's a little bit different. If you look at it, as you're just hiring a vendor to fix problems or just hiring a vendor to do this one thing, that's more just like a one and done thing, where we're both modeling our businesses where we're actually a part-time component of the company. Mm-hmm. And there's always interaction going on. There's always something going on in the background. It's just not that we have a pool of 1,000 people that could call us at any moment. We go and work for them, and then we stop and go work for someone else. We're always doing something every day, every week for a client.
Yeah, and it's hard to explain, because the people that I engage with my clients, on behalf of my clients, they think I work for that entity. Yeah, how long did you think? How long did you know me? Before, you knew that I worked for EDS, and I was sort of the marketing person for EDS, but, it's sort of a blurred line. Right. And I think you see more of that because it's more efficient. I think you get a greater value for what you're trying to do. And I'm not just saying this because it's what I'm doing, but I'm saying it because I'm doing it because I see a trend. I'm doing that for that reason, because there's a trend for needing higher level talent that is has some expertise, and budgets are continually being cut. So you have these areas that you can get top level expertise, but not have to pay a full time person. Taxes. I absorb the taxes of my clients, so they don't have to pay benefits. They don't have to pay. There's significant advantages to doing that, and it's not just outsourced, but it's also engaging those people as part of a culture within your organization.
When I look at it as far as the shared resources, in the IT side of things, we have shared software, we have backup software, we have monitoring software, antivirus that we buy in bulk and then split it amongst a lot of clients. But you can even take that out to marketing, right?
Absolutely.
So as we're looking at video specifically, since video is such a hot topic right now, we are investing in high quality HD cameras. We're investing in lighting. We're investing in different tools to stabilize the image, whether you're on the go or whether you're in place. And the amount of money that we put into making sure that this looks good and is done right, one company would probably not invest the time in trial and error and the equipment, but to do it in house. But when you hire someone like us or like you, we've worked out the kinks. We're working out the kinks. We're trying new things. We're being creative with it, and we can then, along with the equipment, bring the knowledge to make sure it's done right for the client the first time, rather than screw around with it the way that we have for months.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the same can be said even about, at least in my model. I might see something that's going on that might not even be related to marketing in one organization, and it's successful and it's working well. Maybe it's how to organize an event, and I'm able to take that idea and transplant it over into this other organization.
Right.
And that has great impact.
Right.
To those entities.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've seen that ourselves also. Just the way that some people may process, like how they some of their processes, their internal processes. We can say, maybe if you guys tried this. Oh yeah, well yeah. Why didn't we think about that? It's happened. It's not something that we do every week, but it's every so often you see something like we have exposure to all these other companies and we see how things work really well. And this is the thing. Every company has the same problems. While every business owner likes to think they're incredibly different than everybody else, businesses have the same problems all of the time through all of their growth cycle. Mm-hmm. Whether they're a startup, whether they're maturing, whether they're growing exponentially, they all have the same strategy issues. They all have the same people issues, the money issues. So if there are some cross contamination. I don't know what you want to call it. Pollination. That's a better word. That's a much better word. So he's a good marketer. I think if you have that cross pollination where people can learn from others, everybody benefits from that. As long as you're not giving away secrets and stuff.
Absolutely. You have to be cautious of that. But I think, if you look 10 years ago in the top companies 10 years ago in the country, they were doing a lot of business with a lot of people. And businesses today have 10 times the profits that those businesses had, and much less overhead and employee drain. So it's finding ways to do a lot more with less. So that efficiency has to be a part of a culture. Right. And I think that's kind of where your model, my model, is part of a shared services kind of comes in. It's more than just outsourcing marketing or outsourcing IT. It's creating efficiencies throughout an organization and really helping them succeed as a result of that.
Right. I completely agree. You don't need to sell me anything.
I know.
What else do you have going on? What's new?
What's new? I just got back. My battling wanderlust and everything. I've been trying to take a trip a month.
So that's ambitious.
It is ambitious. It's too ambitious, which is why I'm taking August off, as far as my trips go.
All right.
And it's not necessarily a full trip. It's not a full vacation, but it's sort of clearing my mind. So last month I took a long weekend and we went hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains. So we did 17 miles through the mountains, and you're off the grid, and it was beautiful. You're able to kind of just reset and clear. And now I worked on the trip down and on the trip back, but it was still fantastic to do that every so often. So and some of my travel, like I got a trip next month that's going to be for work, and one the following month it'll be for work. But it's still getting out of town and getting out of that routine a little bit. I think that helps me sort of reinvigorate what I'm trying to do. And
see, I probably attack it differently. I don't go on long vacations very often, but I try to hit a little mini vacation maybe once a week.
Yeah.
So whether it's take my kids to the pool or golf, just enjoy, 8 hours where I don't think about anything but what I'm currently doing. Mm-hmm. And I think I've gotten to the point now where if I focus on that, to be honest with you, I enjoy every day of my life. I try to focus on that.
Yeah.
So I don't have those days where I'm miserable and hating going to work or hating talking to a client or hating going home. So I've focused every day on just trying to enjoy wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
So I that's the way I've gotten around doing the monthly thing, because I think that at some point I definitely pine for it, and I probably will again. Like we've gone on a big trip to San Diego recently. We've gone on a big trip to North Carolina with my family, and those are great. And when I'm done with them, I don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But it's I think it's important, when people can't wait for their vacation in a year, or when they are done with their vacation, dread going back into work. It's a mindset. It's maybe you're in the wrong place, maybe you're doing the wrong thing, mm-hmm. But life should not be that miserable.
No, and I didn't want it to sound like I was miserable. I
No,
love what
I don't
do.
think. No, it didn't. You didn't at all. We just have a different way of approaching it. As far like with the monthly thing and the.
You can take. I mean, you can't. With family and everything, you can't.
No,
do that.
I can't, I'm prohibited.
I'm single, waiting for Anna to call me. So I
know, right? Get on it.
I'm a little bit more flexible in what I can do with that. And some of the vacations. I mean, it's just getting out of town, and I'm still working. Maybe I'll go to Ligonier and work for a day or 2 days or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of, I don't know. As a creative person, I try to reset my my I don't know, creative juices, but I want a fresh start with some things, and that kind of helps me clear that out a little bit. So I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, and we've thought about it, and we just never get around to it because we never made it a priority. But going to see the things that we can go to in a day from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Like there's that one, I think it's Kinsua, I don't remember how you say it, but there's a bridge that was knocked down by a tornado northeast of here in the mountains, and I'd love to go see.
Kinsua.
Yeah, Kinsua. There's a bridge, I guess, by the dam.
What do you say?
Kinzu. Okay.
Kinzu, okay.
Kinzu. So I'm going to say it right, and I'm going to be like, this guy belongs. Yeah, right? So I want to go there, and it's just a day trip, right? You just go up with the kids, spend a whole day doing that. We just haven't made it a priority. I didn't want to make it sound like you were not doing it the right way. My point was people do it differently.
Oh yeah.
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters, right?
All that matters. Yeah. Yeah, and I am so.
Awesome.
And it sounds like you are too.
Yeah, man. I love life.
Yeah.
I have a good time with it.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yes, it is. What's going on this weekend?
So I know PodCamp's this weekend. I haven't been there in a number of years, but PodCamp's a great unconference in Pittsburgh where you can walk in and out of sessions. It's for people of varying levels of engagement with social media. So that's a really, really great learning experience, because you have everything from how to start a podcast to, how to increase your traffic based on keywords, and it gets into the weeds a little bit.
I saw that they're going to get into videos also. There's a lot that I actually was interested in. I couldn't find a session list.
Oh really?
Yeah, I couldn't find a schedule. So I mean, it's free to go.
Oh yeah, it's free to go.
Buy a VIP ticket for $30.
And you get a T-shirt, I think, or something like that.
A T-shirt's worth $30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about dropping in if I could, if I had time.
It's worth it. Yeah, it is nice because you can drop in for just an hour.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you want to drop in, you can drop in for an hour. If that session isn't what you want, you can move on to another one. There's no hard feelings from the presenters or anything.
Awesome. Yeah, see if I can make that happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not going to be going to that.
I can't. No. It's always. I think it used to be later in the year, and it was a little bit easier for me to make. But since I have this one client, and it's kind of a busy time of year for them, I haven't been able to really break away from that, to do something like that. I mean, I don't even know how you just keep up with social media on a regular basis. I mean, you guys have been constant, so.
Yeah,
maybe we can keep that for another session.
Yeah, it's work. It's work.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't sleep. That's
Well, you're trying to get up at 4.
Well, yeah, I'm still trying. I did get up at 4 the other day. Today I got up at 5, but
Yeah, I had a little bit of insomnia last night. I was up till like 2, and I'm like, Nick's gonna be up soon. Because I was thinking through,
Well, you know what? I ended up talking with some other guys that own businesses, and I'm gonna have to talk about this at another day. But I had a whole day yesterday where I just met people along the day that did it right. So I had different examples of like how one company was running their sales practice, their process beautifully. I met with guys after dinner that just, you could hear them talking like they knew business. They knew how their business worked and business in general. So it's a topic that I'm gonna have to save for another time, but it was just a day of like 12 hours of just quality conversations nonstop. So by the end of the day, at like 11:30 when I got home, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I could not, there's no way I was getting up at 4 o'clock again. The other thing going on this weekend, which I am really interested in, again with the kids, I don't know if I'm going to make it out there, but it's Rant. It's the Rock All Night something T. I don't know what T stands for. Rock All Night. I don't know, but it's rantpittsburgh.com. They have 216 bands playing in Lawrenceville.
Oh, cool.
Over the course of the weekend. And there's on their map, you can see all the different spots where they're having everything. That
sounds similar to they have a Strip District Music Festival, I think, every year.
Really?
Yeah, and they play at different venues. Like you might have 5 bands playing at one venue throughout the course of the day, and you just kind of make your way around to the different.
And somebody else likened it to the Deutschtown Music Festival that happened last month.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is huge. 216 bands.
Wow.
They have them playing in parks. They have them playing in front of a barber shop. They have them playing in bars. It's huge. It's a big ordeal. And they were talking about it on DV this morning that I think they did all of this with $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah. It was more elbow grease than.
Take some lessons learned there and
yeah,
put those in other events. Huh?
I know, absolutely. It's great. I think this is something this is great for Pittsburgh. This is one of those things where, you get a name for yourself by doing things like this.
Mm-hmm. Who puts it on? Do you know?
They were interviewed on DV this morning, and I don't remember. I'm looking to see. Michael Devine.
Okay.
So they were on DV earlier this morning.
Okay.
That's how I heard about it. I wish I would have known about it earlier, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I'm aware of is Music for MS. The opening band, I guess, is Friday night at the Rex, and then it's out in Heartland Acres, I think.
Heartwood.
Yeah, Heartwood. I'm thinking of the homes. Heartwood Acres. They're doing a whole thing. It's like folk music and.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And apparently maybe a little bit more kid-friendly than Rant, although I think there is some kid-friendly stuff at Rant also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's some cool music going on in Pittsburgh this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. That sounds awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
A few weeks. I know it's a little ways out, but quick plug for the EDS Corridor Communities Golf Outing.
Oh, yeah.
South Hills Country Club. That's on September 19th, and you can go to the Brentwood Baldwin Whitehall Chamber of Commerce website for more information on that. But that's the Corridor Communities Golf Outing, and I think you guys are. I heard some scuttlebutt that you might be doing video.
Oh, you did?
I did. That's what I hear.
That got around fast, didn't it?
Well, you have all the lights and you have everything you need, right?
all right, yeah. So
I heard it's a maybe.
Mark that on the calendar. So the video that we did for the Pittsburgh Social Exchange for the golf outing, we're gonna do the EDS golf outing at South Hills Country Club. Economic Development South. They're an organization. Why don't you say real quick what they do?
Yeah, they strengthen the business and residential communities throughout the South Hills of Pittsburgh. So they put on business events to try to strengthen businesses. They focus on community development, transportation issues, transit issues, trying to make our communities more accessible, real estate development, things that are going on, trying to develop properties to make sure that the proper entities are being developed within our communities to make sure that our communities thrive. So, great group, highly talented people doing awesome things for the South Hills of Pittsburgh. So,
one of the things they're involved in is the food truck event, right?
The chamber,
or is it the chamber?
EDS is sponsoring that. The chamber, the chamber's event, but because of EDS's. And see, I'm even talking as if I'm a staff member of EDS.
Right, we spend so much time there.
Right, yeah. It's natural, and I feel like it, and they treat me like that. But so EDS and the chamber work very closely together on a lot of these types of events to try to make the business community thrive. EDS has done a number of small business workshops and one-on-one sessions with the Small Business Development Center at the University of Pittsburgh to try to invigorate businesses. We've given loans to businesses. There's a sign and light program along Brownsville Road to kind of help the facades of buildings along Brownsville Road, or at least not the facades, but the signs and lights, at least as a starting point. So that's kind of what EDS focuses on, is making our communities awesome. And it's a they're doing that, and it's great to be involved with them as a result. So
yeah, it's a good organization.
Yeah.
It's funny what you say. Like I always do that. Like, how many cars did we sell this week? Or
Yeah.
How many? Like I do the same thing because we're so involved in what we're.
Yeah. It's the right mindset to have, I think, though.
Yeah. What's I agree. I was watching her because I know we're running close on time here.
Yeah.
What's the date for the food truck event?
The Food Truck Festival is next Tuesday. That's the 16th of August, and that's from 5 to 7 p.m. at Baldwin High School South Lot. We're gonna have Franctuary, Pittsburgh Po' Boy, one other one that I can't think of who it is, and then I know Sugar and Spice is going to come and have desserts. They're going to have their truck there too.
Nice.
So and we'll have a DJ and all kinds of fun stuff, and we'll have information on the golf outing for that too.
Awesome.
So that'll be good.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been fun. I can't believe. I mean, it goes by so fast.
I know, right? What time is it?
20 after 5.
Yeah. So we went only 20 minutes over.
That's it.
Yeah, right. All right. Hey. Well, hey, thanks again for coming in, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.